kind of company.
Tonight on CTV3 News, Tracy Taker Panton and former Attorney General Michael Perrifete faced the Special Select Committee as day one into the investigation of the controversial definitive agreement takes place. There is a tentative date for the 2023-2024 crop season, but is there enough cane to grind? And how will the current impasse between BSI and ASR and BSAFA affect the start of the season? Convicted prisoner is on the loose, and the Supplies Control Unit releases names of businesses ticketed for violation of regulations. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Tuesday, December 5th, 2023.
Movies are dreams. That you never forget.
The lights change how everything looks. It's hard to find our house.
Ours is the dark house with no lights.
In this family, it's the scientists versus the artists. What kind of movie are we gonna make?
You stop making movies, it'll break your mother's heart.
I don't know what to do anymore.
You do what your heart says you have to. What was your favorite part?
Centaur, your kind of company.
With Express Plus, you can stream on the go or stream at home. Stream the latest movies, telenovelas, series, anime, or music videos from your favorite local artists. Sign up now with Centaur's Express Plus.
How to win $1,000 cash per branch.
Install or update to Express Plus streaming app. Also win another $1,000 cash per branch. Update your account balance up to December. Update your personal information to get your e-ticket. Drawing date January 5th, 2024 on the Despierta Belize Morning Show. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from Centaur's family.
Good evening. With your news, also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. A proposed date for the start of the 2023-2024 sugarcane crop season has been set for the 15th of December. This decision came following a meeting between the Sugar Industry Control Board, BSI ASR, and the 4 Cane Farmers Association, along with other key sugar industry stakeholders.
En la reunión, pues en la reunión con los cañeros hubo las asociaciones, BSI propuso de que harían los steam trials lunes y martes, que sería hoy el segundo día. estarían listos ya para iniciar el 11 de diciembre.
Okay.
¿Por qué? Porque pues ellos indican de que una vez que encienden los boilers, normalmente no lo apagan, sino que los dejan ahí calentando hasta alcanzar la fecha de inicio de zafra. Pero en las discusiones, pues habían varias propuestas. Una asociación propuso un inicio del 18 de diciembre. Dentro de ellos mismos, entre los líderes, hubo otra propuesta del 14 de diciembre. BSI con el 11. Y luego, pues al final se acordó que una fecha tentativa sería el 15 de diciembre.
Okay.
Entonces, en base a eso, BSI pues dice, en este caso ya no vamos a realizar los Steam Trials del 4 y 5, sino que les vamos a comunicar qué fechas vamos, dado que el 15 es la fecha tentativa, entonces les vamos a comunicar cuándo haríamos los Steam Trials. Eso todavía está por comunicarse.
Despite a proposed date already on the table, Chairman of the Sugar Industry Control Board, Marcos Osorio, says there is still much that has to be considered when deciding an official date for the start of the season.
Se llama un board meeting, pero normalmente el board meeting se llama hasta después que tenemos la garantía de que esa fecha sí es, debido a que si se hacen los Steam Trials y encuentran algunos problemas, por ejemplo, fugas en el boiler, que fue uno de las limitantes más grandes en el inicio de la zafra pasada. Entonces, hasta que se hace el Steam Trial, realmente se sabe si no fallan los boilers o el piping de los boilers y llega bien la energía al ingenio, el ingenio arranca los molinos y todo funciona bien, entonces prácticamente es decir, ya estamos listos. Entonces luego de ahí entonces ya se empieza a considerar la fecha oficial. Entonces para eso se llama una junta del board, del SICB por ley, y luego en el board meeting se consideran todos los factores, preparación del campo, los cañeros cómo se sienten, si el campo está listo, hay suficiente producción para un arranque de tal fecha y que todo va a fluir bien, asegurando la entrega de la cuota diaria que demanda el ingenio. Entonces, Sugar Rush es otro factor. Entonces, en todo eso se analiza, se debate esos factores en el nivel del board y luego se llega a conclusión de una fecha oficial. Okay. Luego de que se toma esa fecha oficial, entonces se hace un anuncio aquí localmente y también se pone en el Government Gazette. Pero entonces, hasta que se publica en el Government Gazette, es una fecha entonces oficial.
Okay.
The preliminary field data of cane available on the fields indicate a shorter crop. However, Osorio says a later start to the crop this year would result in better yields for the entire industry.
Importantemente es que para esta zafra, en cuanto al ejercicio de campo que se llevó a cabo por el comité, por el SIPC, nos arroja que tenemos un estimado de 67,000 toneladas de caña, entre caña planta y caña standover. Pero de toda la caña planta, estimamos de que más o menos las 17,000 toneladas se usó para semillas, quiere decir que esa caña se cosechó para hacer nuevas siembras, entonces esa caña ya no está para inicio de zafra. Entonces, básicamente, es un poquito de caña planta que hay para iniciar y el standover, que podríamos decir por ahí de más o menos 50,000 toneladas. 50,000 toneladas, de acuerdo a la capacidad diaria del ingenio, solo nos alcanza para más o menos 8 días de zafra, Cami. Entonces, si iniciamos muy temprano, no alcanzaríamos a amarrar con las cosechas que seguirían, que es cosecha de enero y febrero. Algo importante también mencionar es que experimentamos una sequía en el inicio del año y las cañas que se cosecharon en enero y febrero no han logrado el desarrollo que debía tener para que pueda seguir después de de los standovers y el planking, que sea las cañas que se continuarían a cosechar. Y debe de ser un flujo normal, ¿no? Pero el riesgo que estamos viendo es de que, y lo que estamos viendo en el campo es que las cañas que se cosecharon en marzo, abril, tienen un mejor desarrollo que las cañas que se cosecharon en enero y febrero. ¿Qué quiere decir esto? Nos pone en riesgo de que cuando se acabe esa semana de cosecha, esos 8 días de cosecha, el cortador va a querer, estamos iniciando zafra, quiere hacer un buen dinero, no va a querer entrar a cortar esas cañas que no desarrollaron, aún no han desarrollado suficiente, y entonces se corre el riesgo de que se entraría a cosechar las cañas de marzo y abril, comprometiendo entonces la calidad para toda la zafra.
And while the crop season can commence before an agreement is reached between BSI, ASR, and the BSCFA for the delivery of cane, Osorio says that move would not be ideal.
Al final del día, el board, las decisiones del board es en el mejor interés de la industria. ¿Qué quiere decir eso? Que sea lo mejor para el ingenio, mejor para los cañeros, ¿verdad? En el mejor interés de la industria. No es con emociones y todo es basado en información técnica y básicamente el ingenio está diciendo: queremos que nos aseguren que nos van a cumplir con las cuotas diarias. Y entonces, si ese es el caso, prácticamente no sería lo más inteligente iniciar si tenemos una asociación o la asociación con mayoría de la producción y no puede entregar. Entonces estaríamos hablando de que las entregas serían de más o menos un 40-45%. Y el ingenio siempre ha dicho: no, el ingenio necesita moler, no puede moler un poquito y parar, moler otro poquito y parar. No hace sentido, nos cuesta muchísimo. Entonces yo creo que al final del día nos conviene a todos y creemos que estamos cerca de que BSI y BSCF lleguen a firmar su contrato comercial. Pero pues al final del día, cada uno de ellos, si deciden no moverse de su posición, entonces estaríamos en una situación donde no veríamos una firma muy pronto.
Today marked the beginning of the Senate inquiry into the controversial Portico agreement signed by former Minister of Economic Development Erwin Contreras. The Special Select Committee is tasked to, among other things, conduct an independent and impartial investigation and inquiry into the signing of the document titled Definitive Agreement by and between the Government of Belize and Portico Enterprises Limited, DBA, the Port of Magical Belize, dated October 2020, and to determine which, if any, established procedures and/or investment policy were followed. The committee will also look into advice, policy, and basis and applicable communications and documentation relied on by the Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Tourism to form Cabinet Confidential Memo 84 concerning the agreement, and in this endeavor question former and current ministers of government, signatories of the agreement, heads of departments, regulatory committees, and others with information into the above, to hold meetings and sittings publicly and broadcast live apart from its deliberations, and after doing so with urgency and expedition, report back to the Senate. The first person to appear before the committee this morning was Tracy Tager-Panton, who served as the chair of the Cabinet Investment Committee during the Barrow administration. Panton spoke to reporters after her appearance before the committee, where she was asked if she had seen or approved the infamous agreement.
As a member of the National Assembly, I should have been served properly to attend this meeting, but I came because I think it's important that we have the matter addressed so we can move forward.
The line of questioning, it felt, I don't know if you found it a bit repetitive. I know you had to repeat yourself several times that you did not see that document prior to it being aired on the media.
Well, that's a fact. I have I have not seen the document. I have not read the document. That document was not prepared by the Cabinet Subcommittee on Investment, of which I chaired. It would be improper for me to comment on a document that does not come from an official source.
While Prime Minister John Briseno welcomes the investigation into all documents, communications, and processes tied to the signing of the definitive agreement, he takes umbrage with the fact that the committee also intends to review the circumstances that led to a Portico Cabinet white paper being presented to Cabinet in May of 2023. The document contained the very same benefits and fiscal incentives outlined in the definitive agreement DA. The cabinet members were asked to support accompanying draft legislation which would then go to Parliament for approval. But after perusal, cabinet ministers rejected the scandalous DA in its entirety. And based on the rejection, the Prime Minister believes that there is no reason for him to be called before the Senate inquiry or even for his government to be investigated. But Panton begs to differ.
How could that be wasting taxpayers' money? The government has a responsibility to be accountable to the people of this country. And clearly, they were very prepared to facilitate that definitive agreement had they not did we not catch their hands in the cookie jar. So it is important that we get to the bottom of this situation. It is important that the taxpayers of this country understand exactly how the process worked and where we were in the process, so that they can have the answers that the public has a right to know.
Former Attorney General of Belize, Michael Perife, today also appeared before the Special Select Committee. For him, the agreement signed by his former peer, Erwin Contreras, never had the approval or recommendation of the Cabinet Investment Committee or Cabinet Ministers. Hence, the document could have never been vetted by the AG office.
They believe that Royal Caribbean has a signed, sealed agreement with Portico because Portico has a definitive agreement with the government of Belize. I was shocked and horrified, actually, because I said, when did this occur? This is what led to my letter to the Prime Minister in March. So, Prime Minister, I heard that there is one. Give it to me, let me see it, because I'm interested to know how that came about.
So at no point between 2017 and October 2020, you had any sight, knowledge of any iteration of that version of that agreement?
No, because when I got the call from Morales, I told him that whatever he wants to send to the committee, send directly to the chair. Don't send anything to me. The first time I saw this definitive agreement was right after there was an apparent supposed mutiny in cabinet on May 15, 2023.
Okay.
I saw this document a couple of days after May 15, 2023, when the government tried to have cabinet ratify this agreement with legislation to match. That's when I first saw this agreement.
Perife was pressured by the committee for more than an hour and was even asked if his former boss, Dean Barrow, had any engagement when it comes to the agreement.
The people's business is not private business. The people's business is public business. Whenever we discussed this in cabinet, the then Prime Minister made it very clear in cabinet, as he did in public, that the court indeed had said something about exclusivity and that no one port should have exclusivity per se. There, of course, have been discussions about what he meant by exclusivity, whether it was exclusivity in the collecting of taxes or exclusivity in the existence of cruise ports within a certain radius. But yes, the topic of exclusivity was always front and center.
As the document was dissected, a specific clause was looked at which prohibits the government from spewing information of and pertaining to the agreement. The clause took Purfeet by surprise as it overrides the laws of the land.
If you read 33.1, it's practically, or 33.1, it's fierce, man. No party shall issue or make any public. This is 33.1 of the definitive agreement that this government wanted to pass this year May, that they endorsed this year May. No party shall issue or make any public announcement or disclose any information regarding this agreement unless prior to such public announcement or disclosure, it furnishes the other party with a copy of such announcement or information and obtains the approval of such persons to its terms. However, now if you stop right there, Senator Herrera, what this is saying is that if as a citizen, tax-paying citizen of this country, ask the government for this document, this PUP government wanted to be that first they have to get Portico's permission to show anybody this document. No, that is beyond insulting. Because then you cannot put anything in there that violates the law. They try to correct it by saying, however, no party shall be prohibited from issuing or making any such public announcements or disclosing such information if it is necessary to do so to comply with any applicable law or the regulations of a recognized stock exchange. You're a better businessman than I am. If something is being publicly traded, then the information about that company cannot be secret.
Are you saying that this is a highly unusual clause?
I would say the first sentence is highly unusual.
Would you say that it's highly unusual to have a confidential clause like this in an agreement such as this?
Yes, and I'll tell you what for me makes the difference. It is highly unusual to say that nobody can talk about an agreement when it is not a private agreement. In my view, assuming that cabinet had approved this, our cabinet had approved this, you cannot tell the people that information cannot be given to the people.
And when interrogated further, the former AG wasted no time in throwing his former colleague under the bus. For it after they managed to escape from authorities at the High Court. However, police have confirmed that one has since been recaptured. The accused are Hildebrandt Dominic Codd, 36, an account clerk of Gibnut Street, Belize City, and 29-year-old Jesse Mejia, also known as Jesse Jason Mejia, a construction worker and resident of Eagle Street, Ladyville, Belize District. Mejia is currently being transported to the cell block at Queen Street Police Station Precinct 3 after being captured on Baldwin Drive, while Codd remains on the run. The men managed to escape by prying their way through a juror room at the High Court shortly before 10 this morning. Police are now hot on their heels and checkpoints throughout the city and out of bounds are currently active. Codd was awaiting his verdict before Justice Ricardo O'Neill Sancroft for the murder of Densmore Bowman from Belmopan in 2020. Meanwhile, Mejia was convicted late last year along with Darwin Prado for a double murder and was facing sentencing. Both cases have since been further adjourned to December 21st. We understand officers are currently being questioned as to what occurred. Coming up next, 18-year-old Tron Farm resident charged for firearm offenses. Stay tuned.
¿Cómo ganar $1,000 en efectivo por sucursal?
Instale o actualice la aplicación de Transmisión Express Plus. ¿Cómo ganar otros $1,000 en efectivo por sucursal? Actualice el saldo de su cuenta a diciembre. Actualice sus datos personales para obtener su boleto electrónico. El sorteo será el 5 de enero del 2024 en el programa Despierta Belice. La gerencia y personal de Centar le desea a clientes y amigos una feliz Navidad y un próspero año nuevo.
Sign up for Smart Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. So get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
Tell me something. You can go anywhere. Another timeline. Another universe. So why do you want to stay and fight to save this one?
Because this is the world where my mom lives. I'm not gonna lose her again. Time has a pattern that it can't help reliving. Different people, different worlds, drawn to each other like magnets. It's my face. You stole my face.
If you were to go into the past, you have no idea what the consequences can be.
Bruce, I could fix things.
You could also destroy everything.
This can't be happening. I completely broke the universe.
Zod, we've been waiting for you.
I created a world with no metahumans. And now there's no one to defend us.
Want some help?
Oh. You are?
Yeah. I'm Batman.
If I can't undo what I did, if I can't get back, there might not be a future. What's the play? Batman, what do we do?
We try not to die.
not Clark.
My name is Kara.
I'm Barry. We're Barry.
Barry, what are you doing? Our kids are gonna want to see this.
An 18-year-old from the village of Tron Farm here in the Orange Walk district was charged over the weekend for being in possession of a firearm, ammunition, and drugs. According to reports, while on patrol in the Blackwater Creek area of Tron Farm, they saw 18-year-old Nigel Quiroz walking on the street. Upon attempting to stop him, police observed Quiroz as he threw a plastic bag to the ground. A check of the bag resulted in the discovery of a 9mm Zigana PX9 pistol, 2 magazines, and 37 9mm rounds. Further search on Quiroz revealed 0.9 grams of crack cocaine. Quiroz was arraigned on charges of possession of a firearm, ammunition, and drugs, for which he pleaded guilty and was fined $11,000, which he paid forthwith and was released. The 2023-2024 crop season is right around the corner. While a set date is yet to be published, there are many components that need to be considered before the commencement of crop, including the conditions of the sugar roads. While rains have caused some delays on the rehabilitation of the roads, Osorio says there has been major advancement by the government to have roads in optimal conditions.
En cuanto a los sugar roads, sabemos que y tenemos que reconocer el gobierno siempre ha tenido esto muy presente. A partir de por ahí del mes de octubre se aprobó los presupuestos para mantenimiento de los sugar roads, pero justamente después de esto pues empezamos a vivir un poco de lluvias y iniciaron los trabajos como hace por ahí poquito más de 2 semanas, pero luego se tuvieron que suspender porque si recordamos hace 2 semanas más o menos tuvimos bastante lluvia. Entonces los trabajos se suspendieron, pero en el curso de esta semana, de la semana pasada y hasta posiblemente hace 2 días, los trabajos volvieron a iniciar y ya se ha avanzado, Cami, pero nuevamente el clima no nos está ayudando mucho, pero y mejor se suspende en vez de seguir reparando bajo condiciones mojadas y lo que hagamos es más daño que bien. Entonces, quiero mencionar que en San Esteban vemos que el trabajo ha avanzado bastante. El domingo estaba en el área, recorrí el área de San Lázaro y Oak Creek. También vemos que ahí se ha hecho bastante trabajo, pero igual se suspendió un rato los trabajos debido a las lluvias. Pero eso creemos una vez que se paren las lluvias y haya mejores condiciones, los trabajos van a continuar y vamos a estar en una buena situación. Entonces, todo eso se tiene que tomar como un factor y factores en el proceso de decidir el inicio de zafra.
The Supplies Control Unit SCU in the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise has completed its first round of establishment inspections for compliance with provisions of the new supplies control regulations between September 1st and November 3rd, 2023. During this period, the SCU is reporting that a total of 59 establishments from a total of 112 were issued tickets for violations of the regulations. Here in the north, a total of 9 establishments were issued tickets, including 5 in Corozal and 4 in Orange Walk. Those establishments who were found to be in violation of the regulations included Sunlock Shop and Ring Store in Orange Walk Town, who were both ticketed for failure to display prices on products, while Easy Shopping in San Jose Village and CY Supermarket in Tral Farm were both ticketed for having certain items above the controlled price. In Corozal, Fry Store, Summer Holiday Store, and Band Store in Corozal Town were all found to have items above the controlled price, while Happy Family Store in the village of San Joaquin and Ding Fen Store in San Narciso along received tickets for having items above the controlled price. In a discussion with the Controller of Supplies, Lennox Nicholson, in our morning show, He shared more details about the process in which the Supplies Control Unit is carrying out the inspections across the country and who is being monitored.
The first set of inspections that we did from starting of September up to the 3rd of November, we had a specific list that we were going to deal with based on advanced work that we did where we identified that the compliance risk was greatest. So that was the first round. We started our second round earlier this week for the second set of establishments. In each round, there's for various sizes of establishments, different locations, and so on, right? So basically, there isn't any establishment that is exempt from inspection.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, prior to the coming into force of these regulations, with some of the larger stores that you mentioned, we actually did detailed walkthrough with the management of those stores, aisle by aisle, shelf by shelf, product by product, to have a discussion on the regulations, how they can be improved, what's the most effective way to actually enforce and implement, and so on. So basically, it's across the board.
Okay, all right, that's good to know.
So one of the things I told you about the particular situation in San Pedro, in Orange Walk and Corozal districts, we have issued 21. We have cited 21 violations in those two districts. 7 of them in urban areas, and the remainder in villages. So in Corozal district, we did in San Joaquin, San Narciso, Sartineja, and Corozal town.
Okay.
In Orange Walk, we did Orange Walk town, San Jose, Trial Farm, Yo Creek, Guinea Grass, and San Esteban so far. We have to go back, and the nature of our inspections are such that they are not announced. So we don't tell you we're going to come back at a particular time. It might mean that we're just going to the Corozal border to do some work, and we pass the location when we just drop in to see if the adjustments have been made.
Right.
Right? So that is how it works. We have to continuously deal with it. And as you go along, the regulations provide different levels of tools to deal with certain things. Now, in Dangriga, we had a particular establishment that, prior to the coming into force of these regulations, had been taken to court twice. And when we went to Dangriga, violations again.
I committed again.
Yeah, so in instances like that, you have to look at it and you have to stay on top of the game to ensure that they're brought into compliance.
Right.
In terms of the penalties imposed on the establishments for being in violation of these regulations, Nicholson says each violation results in a ticket.
So each violation cited carries a $300 fine, right?
Okay.
If the fines are not paid by a certain time, then the amount double, right? And in instances where there's outright refusal to pay, then there are other remedies that fine tend to get more severe, no? Now, in the first rounds that we have been doing, essentially what we do is, once we cite a violation, we basically issue the ticket, we explain what needs to be done, and that's the end of that. But if we were to go into an establishment and find repeat violations, what I would say is that the scope of the inspection would be more thorough.
Okay.
And as we go along, if we find 5, we would issue 5 tickets.
Okay.
Right? Because what we want to do, it's always better to try and get people to comply. You explain what is required of you. You find a violation, you cite them, you give them an opportunity to fix it. But if the problem persists and there is an unwillingness to adjust, then you have to take it up a little bit.
Right.
Residents are informed that a second round of inspections began on November 4th and is ongoing. Residents can report suspected violations to phone number 607-4686, or you can reach out to the Supplies Control Unit at 822-2648, 223-2845, or via email DesireeMontes@agriculture.gov.bz for any queries or concerns. The Supplies Control Unit has announced another slight increase in the price of liquefied petroleum gas (LPG) by a cent per gallon. However, the prices per pound in retail are not affected going into the Christmas season. Increases in acquisition costs for butane drove the change, which goes into effect on Tuesday, December 5th. The general public is advised that the prices established for imported LPG are based on the mixtures of 70-30 propane butane, only as per the requirement of the Belize National Standard Specification for Liquefied Petroleum Gas (LPG). The new prices are as follows: $3.59 wholesale, $5.19 per gallon retail in urban areas, $5.29 per gallon in rural areas. Retail prices remain $1.19 per pound in urban areas and $1.21 per pound in rural areas. This means that a 100-pound cylinder of LPG will cost you $119 in the towns and cities and $121 elsewhere. Before ending tonight's newscast, we invite you to join us at 8 p.m. as we bring to you day one of Centaur's annual countdown to Mega Christmas Brahma. The show will be filled with prizes and surprises, so make sure to be in tune. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Wednesday, December 6th here on CTV3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember to read a text version of the news. You can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.